Welcome, everyone. Good evening. It's right at 7 o'clock. We like to start on time because many of us like to end on time. I've got kids like you have no idea. Just turned 51. I've got one on the way in any day now. So super excited, but also super excited about tonight and the webinar with fellow unfranchised owners. I always like to introduce myself as an unfranchised owner, because first and foremost, that's what I'm most proud about. And we have a lot in common. We bleed the same blood, if you will. And, I'm also the vice president of strategic partnerships. So I get the fortunate, ability to work with outside partners and partnerships. And that's what we're here to talk to you tonight about. While you guys are coming on, I'd love for you to pop in the chat, maybe where you're from, name, etc. I'm sure we'll see some familiar faces. And while you're doing that, I also want to make mention that Mr. Jim Winkler is on the call with us tonight. It's always a pleasure to have him on, and smiling face and being supportive. So thank you, Jim.
Hey, I'm very excited to be on. I was telling my wife all about this program, and we were having a little bit of dinner, and she said, "How come I don't know more about this?" And I said, "Well, that's why I'm doing the webinar tonight, because there's a lot of people who need to know about this." So it is great to be with you, Eddie, and with Vince. And Eddie, I'll turn it back to you. Why don't you introduce Vince? It looks like we got a lot of people jumping on, and we have a lot of, I saw Roxanne Reed, Illinois is one of the states that is ready to go. So we're going to have some fun here. Northeast, be ready. Let's go.
I even see somebody that's a fellow racquetball player. You don't see that very often. So glad to have you, Jenny. So tonight, again, as I mentioned, we're here to talk about Xoom Energy. They've been a great partner to date. And we just want to get them more exposure, not only for them, but for our fellow unfranchised owners. It's a great program. We'll tell you all about it. I've got the pleasure of having Vince Nikolic on the call with us tonight. And Vince is definitely a student of what he preaches, and he knows the energy game very well. Happens to also be here in North Carolina, which is nice. He's right up the road. So Vince, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to you. I'll start to share my screen.
Certainly. Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining this evening and spending a little time with us. Jim, thank you so much for being here. I know you're a big figure there at shop.com, so thank you for being here. I know that we partnered actually with Market America shop.com here about a year and a half ago, if that's correct, Eddie. And I know we've had some good success here. But one thing that Eddie and I always talk about along with Jim is how do we get a little more exposure to Xoom Energy on shop.com, right? So we felt that the best way to do that is to have these webinars periodically, not all the time, of course, but because there's a lot of great products on shop that we all know they have. And of course, I'm here to speak about energy. So first of all, I want to say thank you for having me and spending a little time. And as Eddie had mentioned, I'll kind of go through a few slides here, kind of introduce who Xoom Energy is, where we can actually service. And I know the one main thing that Eddie and Jim want to cover is the IBVs, which I'm sure they can explain that a whole lot better than I can, believe me. That's something that I'm not too familiar with, but energy definitely is one of the things. So first of all, let's go ahead and meet Xoom Energy. We actually partnered, if you want to go to the next slide there.
Sure.
Eddie, thank you.
Hey, while Eddie's doing that, Vince, I noticed we have Ken Copps from Novi, Michigan, who's already a Xoom customer, a happy Xoom customer with us. So I thought you'd like to know that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I grew up in Michigan, spent a lot of years in Farmington Hills and in Sterling Heights. So I know exactly where Novi, Michigan is. So thank you so much for supporting yourself first and foremost, because this is an extension of your business, right?
That's right.
This is what I tell everyone. This is an extension of your business. Treat it as a business and you get rewarded for it, right? And you make your business grow. So thank you so much. But as you can see here, we actually started Xoom in 2011. So we're going actually 11 years last month. So major accomplishment. But as you can see here, as we grew, we actually made the list on the Inc. 500 as the #1 fastest growing privately held energy retailer, and also the 13th overall fastest growing privately held company. Major accomplishment, right? Absolutely. Thank you, Jim. In 2016 and 2018, we were named the Energy Retailer of the Year. Another couple of great announcements there. And we maintain, this is very important to me, because one thing that, even though energy is deregulated in some markets, not in all, and in some states, not in all, it's very regulated, right? So we're constantly under the microscope from the Public Utilities Commission. How are we doing business, right? We're partnered with these great companies like Market America, Shop.com. How are we doing? So we maintain an A+ rating, which I think is very, very important.
That is.
Another one that I'm very proud of, that we have the largest consumer footprint of any other energy retailer in the US. That means that Xoom Energy can service more customers than any other energy retailer that's out there in deregulated markets. Moving on to deregulated markets, as you can see here, first of all, we get asked quite often, how large is the energy sector? So just in the deregulated markets and states that we're in right now, it's a $500 billion industry. Yes, $1 billion. That's an astronomical number there. We're in 90+ deregulated markets in the United States, where we give you access to over 80 million potential customers. Right now, we're in every single deregulated state in the US and Washington, D.C. People say, why do you say Washington, D.C.? Well, it's not considered a state, it's a district, right? So that's why we say 19 deregulated states and Washington, D.C. There are a few other states out there that are looking into deregulation. It's not up to us. If it was up to us, that whole map would be colored in right now. Unfortunately, we don't have control over that. And I don't really want to get into all the details around that, but one thing that I want to go ahead is continue on here, and then hopefully get to that, the IBVs that Jim and Eddie can go ahead and talk about.
Hey, Vince, can we jump in? Can you go back to that map real quick while we're talking? I would really love for everybody who's listening to understand something. Vince walked me through this about a week ago or so, and we went through, and one of the things he said to me that really stuck was, I said, what about Wisconsin, Vince? That's where I live. I want it there. He said, Jim, I can't do anything about it. I can only be where we can be, like he just said. But he said, Jim, you're missing the boat. He said, do you have people in Illinois? Do you have people in the Northeast? Do you have people I said, I do. He said, well, then you need to talk to those people, because remember, guys, when they're doing it, they're saving money, they're getting customers, getting cash back. All that IBV is flowing up to you, even though it may not be in your state. And Vince, I just want to make sure people focused in and really listen to you, because it's valuable, whether it's in your state right now or not. It can affect your business in a big way for the future.
Great point there, Jim. Yes, this is something that I do talk about quite often, and hopefully we'll get to a point where we're having these live events again. I know we were scheduled to be in Miami, and then don't want to go there, but we know what happened. But
we're going to be live in August.
That's right.
In Greensboro, yes. Xoom Energy, you're going to be with us, and we are going to be a huge event. It's going to be the biggest event, best event we've ever had. It's our 30th year anniversary event. So it's going to be great.
Congratulations, guys. That is awesome. That is totally awesome. I know I actually came up to Greensboro during one of your events prior to actually partnering with you guys there, and I was blown away. I was blown away at how many UFOs out there that I seen, and how excited everyone was, and the electricity in the air was unbelievable. So I look forward to being there And as Eddie mentioned, I'm only an hour and maybe 15 minutes away from their headquarters there. So I'm going to make sure that we have a nice, beautiful booth set up there and answer any questions that any unfranchised owner has. So
Yeah, Vince,
But yeah.
it's gonna be bigger than what you saw before. We're pulling out all the stops, so we'll talk more about that in the Q&A because I want to make sure that everybody is gearing towards the event. And we certainly, if we haven't already, we want to invite you now because you'll get tons of questions, interested, individuals, and you'll definitely get. It's really the heartbeat of our company. It's our Super Bowl, so we'd love to have you there as well as everybody on the call. We hope that you are getting tickets if you haven't already.
I look forward to it, Eddie. Yeah. So, again, just to go back to what Jim had said, you need to, growing your business means that you're acquiring your customers, right? For all the beautiful products that Shop has along with energy here. And that's how you grow your business. People ask us, who can we actually service? We can service any homeowner or renter out there in all the markets that you've seen earlier, and also small businesses. We are currently working on getting a large business program put together that hopefully by the August event we'll have introduced, along with many great things that we've been talking about with Eddie and Jim here, which I don't want to spoil on this webinar here, but just know that there's many, many wonderful things coming, and also even expanding our footprint. And again, this is something that we'll talk about in August, and because it's not readily available right now. But yeah, so any residential customer and any small business out there. So just understand, and I always say this, energy is a service that everybody is using. We're not burning wood to heat our homes or cook our food. We are flicking on a light and we're turning that gas stove or electric stove on and we're cooking our food, right? So this is not something that you need to try to convince a customer that this is something they need. This is something that they're already using. And the enrollment process literally takes less than 3 minutes. Customer logs in there, chooses a plan, and we got a variety of plans that they can choose from that best fits their budget. Enter a little information, click submit, you're done. There's absolutely nothing to buy. There's no fees. There's never any interruption of service or disruption. And as you see here, it's literally a seamless switch. The only thing that'll change later is that Xoom Energy will be out there purchasing the natural gas or electricity from the wholesale market for the end user, which is the customer. The utility still owns the infrastructure. They'll still continue to deliver that natural gas and electricity to your home. The only difference is on that bill, you'll see that it's supplied, or the supply portion is supplied by Xoom Energy. So sorry about that, Eddie. Sometimes I don't know when to stop talking, but anyway. And as I mentioned earlier, why Xoom Energy? Well, first and foremost, it's an extension of your business, right? This is how you grow your business.
Well, you know what, Vince, as you're talking about this, one of the things we talk a lot about is a shopping annuity, meaning basically getting paid for what you're already doing. And we're all getting energy, as you said, we're all purchasing it from somewhere right now. Well, what about turning that into our own business to be able to do it? And you've mentioned that a couple times, but it really is an extension of it's part of doing what we do with the shopping annuity team. And that's really important that Vince brought that up.
Yeah, and unlike the utility, we offer a variety of plans that the customers can choose. In most markets, the utilities have one set rate, or I don't want to call it a set rate. It's a rate. Some utilities change it monthly, some quarterly, some I'd say maybe at most a couple of times or a year. But most of the utilities out there, they change their prices every single month based on how the market fluctuates. And it is unbelievable. I've never, in all the time that I've been working in the energy business, I have not seen crazy prices the way I'm seeing right now. So having the option to choose different plans out there to be able to lock in your rate, I think is something that a lot of people should be looking at right now. So, but yeah, and there's a lot of benefits. We have a loyalty program out there that when you're an Xoom Energy customer, you earn points, just like the airline rewards plan, right? So you have points that you're acquiring every single month, literally just for being a customer, right? So, and those points you can always redeem for gift cards, restaurant coupons, local theaters, local restaurants. All you do is just enter your zip code, and we're partnered with over 500,000 organizations out there that you can actually redeem these points at. And this is not something that anyone else offers. So that's a great loyalty program we have. Of course, auto bill pay. And for those people who just like to pay one single rate, we have our budget billing, which then of course we go back historically and do a true up. But here is where I think Eddie, you and Jim wanted to get to this point here. I will absolutely be quiet here because I know very little about this. So please.
Well, one thing we want to make sure that you and your customers know is how do you find Xoom Energy? So we went to great lengths to create a landing page on both unfranchised and on shop. So all you need to do is search Xoom. Make sure you don't do Xoom webinar, but Xoom Energy. With an X, and it's going to come up on both unfranchised, or if your customers were to search Xoom on shop, they'll get the landing page on shop. And on this page, you'll see, we've included a video. Obviously, one of the most important things is the IBV that you earn. And, Jim touched on it earlier. I'm sure we'll reinforce it again. But it's not about if you're in a deregulated state or not. It's about if people that are in a deregulated state, and they can benefit from some of the things that Vince just mentioned with, locking in a rate or having variable rate, different programs, different, options, which a lot of the, electric companies don't offer today direct to the consumer. But you're going to earn 6.6% IBV each and every month. It's just like set it and forget it. And if you get people in your organization doing it, you get customers doing it, then it really adds up. It becomes synergistic, as you guys are also familiar, with our model. But this page really has the key benefits. It talks about, what states it's available in. And I didn't scroll down that page, but I really want you to go, at least, if nothing else, at the end of the webinar, just go to unfranchised, go to shop, type in Xoom, look at the page. It's going to cover a lot of what we have, but feel confident knowing that if you tell your customers or people in your organization go do the same thing, they're going to get a page that's loaded with information, and it gets them to the point that they want to learn more. They click and link over, and then they're in Xoom's environment, which they can do everything, put in their zip code, determine if they're in an area, what plans and what options are available. So we made it really easy to find. Jim, I don't know if you want to add anything. If not, I'll turn it back to Vince.
Yeah, I was just going to say 6.6% IBV. So Vince, you're saying if I have a $300 bill, I'm 18 IBV that's coming in off of that, or more, 19 with 6.6% for just paying my bill. We got to get this in Wisconsin, Vince. I'm telling you. I got to do my work to get everybody on my teams in these other areas doing this, because it's a no-brainer, guys. The real thing. Another question my wife had when we were having dinner, Vince said, "Well, how hard is it to register for this?" And you said it. It's what, 3 minutes to be able to do it or so.
Not even 3 minutes. Yep.
Not even 3. How about registering a customer, Vince? How do you do that with a customer?
Yeah. So one thing, let's stay on this page right here for just a minute there. Of course, become a Xoom Energy customer if you're in one of those areas. Now, if you know people in different areas and you want to go ahead and have them kind of look at the plans that are available, see if they want to go ahead and help your business, because you're offering them something from your business to become your customer there. What you need to do is, and again, this is, as I mentioned earlier, this is a deregulated product, but it's very, very regulated, right? We're always under a microscope, as I said earlier. So every UFO out there has to go through a training. And this is a one-time thing. So this is not something that you got to do all the time. You go through this training one time, literally takes about 15 minutes. Eddie went through it. Yeah, there's a few questions that we ask just to make sure that you were paying attention. Like, what is our company name, right? And of course, we give you multiple choices too. So it's not like we're making it's very, very simple. You're done. Now you can go ahead and you can refer Xoom Energy to all the people that you know in those locations. And one thing that I want to touch on, and I didn't, when a customer enrolls, they choose a plan. They choose a 1 year, a 2 year, 3 year plan. We have all different types of plans out there in different markets. They go ahead and enroll, they're done. It's not like they got to come back the following month and do this again. They're done, right? And that customer is yours for life. And when it's time to renew, you don't got to reach out to them. We reach out to them. We try to get them renewed on whatever pricing is at that time and put them on another plan, and they continue to be your customer. You continue to earn the IBV. So I think that's a beautiful thing, to not have to go out there and chase that customer over and over again.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, to get that repeating, so it's like energy or a cell phone, right? I mean, people just keep buying it. The monthly comes, and you keep getting now paid on it for what you're doing. And I love, Vince, what you said. It's about a 15-minute class that you have to take. That's great. You know a little bit more about what you're doing, how to do it, and then you have the ability to get customers. Remember, for the customers team, they're getting 2% cash back. So you're giving them a savings on that. And remember what Vince said, there's the rewards program that goes with that. So if they're going to find ways to not only get great payment options, save money, and be part of that rewards program, because you were able to encourage them to take a look at it.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely there, Jim. And I know the next couple of slides is what I actually talked about, this training here. It's an online training. You can do it at any time you wish. A quick questionnaire, and then of course you got to adhere to a certain code of conduct there. And again, this is all sent to us by the Public Utilities Commission. So it's not something that we just decided to include in order to refer customers. And this is great because we definitely don't want you to be an energy expert out there. It's very hard. I mean, I'm not even an expert, right? I got people I go to ask questions, right? But this gives you the basics, right? And that's all. You need to know the basics of energy. And that's what this training does, just gives you the basics of that and makes you a little smarter to answer a few questions that most likely you'll get from your friends and family and your current customers that you have out there right now.
Yeah, it's really easy, Vince. I mean, I could speak from my own experience because I did it and it was, it took me just a few minutes. It wasn't hard at all. And you want to go ahead and do it and get it out of the way. So that way, then if you do have a prospect, a customer, et cetera, that wants to go through that process, you've already done it. And it literally takes 10 minutes at max.
Yep, absolutely there. And I know we have a bunch of slides here that we can actually go through. But what I'd like to do, and then of course answer a bunch of questions, because I know we're going to be running out of time soon. If you can just go down to like slide, I think 15, where we have all the plans that are available, or the options. Right there. So I talked about a variety of plans. So we do have, which I highly recommend to everyone out there, is a fixed plan, right? What this does is it locks in your rate. There's so many uncertainties out there, and they can happen literally overnight, which happened last year in Texas. I was actually in Texas visiting my daughter in Dallas last year when I believe they call it Storm Uri. Uri, was it? And all of a sudden we got 6 inches of snow in Dallas and no power. Well, guess what? Power came back on, but there was such a high demand for electricity, the prices went through the roof. Now, if you were on a fixed rate plan, Didn't matter, right? Power came back on. You're still paying that whatever you enrolled on, 10 cents a kilowatt hour. You're not paying 20, 30, 40 cents a kilowatt hour. That's giving you a peace of mind. Now, of course, we also have our variable plan out there, and there's no commitment to this. And what the variable plan does, it fluctuates, right? Based on the volatility of the market. And no one should really be on this plan right now, especially today. The way the market is so volatile right now, we even send out emails. We do have customers that are on this plan here because they don't want to be locked into any contract. And in a lot of markets, we don't even have any cancellation fees, right? So even if you were on that fixed plan, now I'm not saying all markets, I said some markets, because we can't charge a cancellation fee in some markets. But I highly recommend that you always push your customers toward that fixed plan that's available out there. For the I call them tree huggers out there, hey, I love them too, right? We do have a renewable product in most every single market where we offer a 50% renewable electricity product and a 100% carbon-free offset natural gas product. And of course, for the pet lovers out there, this is one of our best sellers out there. When customers enroll in this plan, we go ahead and we donate 5% from the supply portion only. We can't do it from the delivery charges that the utility charges the customer. But for the supply portion, we donate 5% to PetSmart charities every single month. And again, that is one of our top products that we offer out there. But yeah, so I wanted to get to this, so at least the everyone that's on right now do understand that we do have a variety of plans that we offer customers out there.
I think you made it easy and clear, Vince, on that. That's great.
We do have a few questions real quick. I just want to just say to everyone on the call and to Vince as well, with International Convention right around the corner, you really need to be there because Vince is going to be there along with other partners. We're doing a lot of really new and creative, fun things at the event this year. So if you haven't got your tickets already, you need to be there. We have a lot of giveaways, really good giveaways from the partner store team. And we're doing another webinar on May 31st to talk about some of that, some of our newest partners, some of the cool things we're going to be doing at the event. So anyway, just thank you for attending tonight. I want to hit some of these questions and we'll also then have a close, but for any of you guys maybe that time sensitive, I just want to make sure if you haven't got your tickets already, you really need to. So one of the questions that came up and you touched on it, Vince, was explain regulated versus deregulated.
Absolutely. So a regulated market, customers don't have a choice on who supplies their natural gas or electricity. That means they can only purchase that from their local utility. In a energy choice market or a deregulated market, that area is open to competition, open to choice. Right, so customers can actually shop for their energy rates. They can, like any one of those states in there, if you go and look at energy companies that are available in my area, you'll get a whole list and you can actually go shopping out there to try to get your best rate that's out there. Now, I'm not going to tell you that we're always the cheapest out there, right? There's many, many companies. But I can say that we have one of the biggest offerings of different types of plans amongst other competition. But that's the main thing is it's competition, it's choice. Matter of fact, I was telling Jim and Eddie the other day, one of the states that looked to open up was Nevada, and it made it all the way to the ballot. Which meant that not this November, but this was back a couple of years ago. The residents there in Nevada can go vote on whether or not they wanted energy to be deregulated. The local utilities spent $57 million on advertising, telling the customers, telling their residents that having a choice is bad for you. That you're too, excuse me for saying that, you're too dumb to know what's best for you. And believe it or not, they voted no. I'm like, I was blown away. I'm like, are you kidding me? Having a choice is bad for you. But hey, it is what it is. And I did see, you know, a bunch of those questions kind of pop up, but I'll let you kind of go through that there, Eddie. And
Yeah, and well, some of them you've hit. We covered, there was a question about what types of different plans there are, which we covered. Where do I register or sign up customers? We covered that. There was a question about the training link and if I could send it out. If you will, go to that landing page that I talked about, that very first module where it talks about learn more. If you click that, that takes you to the accreditation area. If you don't get to it, you can email me directly or follow up, you know, to Unfranchised Services. We'll make sure you get it.
And when you say landing page, Eddie, you mean type in Xoom Energy.
Yes.
It'll go there. That's the when you type that in on the search, that's where the landing page is on either Unfranchise or Shop.
That's correct.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. I had a few questions that I had we captured before, but I want to make sure, I want to look real quick, make sure that I didn't miss anybody's question.
Eddie, while you're looking at that, I'm just gonna add on about convention and tell you guys, I know probably you're the people going that are on here. If you haven't made that decision, make the decision from the minute you get to Greensboro. I mean, from when you get to Greensboro, when you get to the outside of the Coliseum to when you walk in the first door to the first presentation, it is going to be bigger, better, and more fun than you've ever had being at this event. And I will tell you, those of you who miss it, if you have to miss it, it's going to be one of those things you're like, dang, how did I miss that one? You know, I should have rearranged everything to be there and get there. So just make sure you make that effort. Don't let it be one of those, oh, I'll do it next time. There's not another 30th year. You know, I say there's not another today. There's not another 30th year celebration. Let's go for it.
Yep. And I put in the chat too, Jim, that, you know, after today's meeting, I was just blown away at the things that you and Lauren and the management team are putting together. It's really, it's going to be impressive. I'm excited. I'm in the wheelbarrow, if you will. Again.
Be careful, JR. I'll put you on the tightrope. You know
yes,
that.
Yes, he will. That's okay. That's all right. I'm ready for it. But I think, you know, the couple that just the main points tonight is that you don't have to be in a deregulated state. You know, people that live in other parts of the country. It's a great way to open conversation too, that leads to many other things. So selling them Market America brands. I mean, you know, energy and deregulation and, you know, do you have a choice? And, oh, well, you do have a choice. You live in XYZ state. Well, let me provide a solution for you and you can earn some cash back. And, you know, so I think that's a big point. I think it's easy to find on the site. You just get your customer there, get an unfranchised owner there. And the page really does itself. Xoom will support it. They do what they're supposed to do. So it's not you have to explain a lot because there's a lot of information here. You just get them to the page. And then lastly, I think it's like set it and forget it. You know, Xoom has great retention. So once you get a customer on, you know, they're probably going to continue to stay on monthly, then yearly. So, you know, it's almost a no-brainer. I have to ask myself, why not? You know, so thanks for everyone attending. And Jim, if you have anything to add, if not, you know, we can close. I just want to, I know time is valuable. These webinars are great because we can meet for 30 minutes and cover information, but there's nothing like meeting in person. So you really got to be at international convention. Vince, I'm going to make sure you're there. So you're on the hook. You got to come up, bring a booth, bring some gift cards. Maybe we'll put you in the mix to give stuff away, and we'll get a lot of people there to you know, participate. So again, thanks for everyone's time tonight, because I know time is the valuable asset that we, you know, have, and it's hard to manage. So thanks for sharing this, you know, with us tonight. And Jim, I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add.
I was just going to say, Eddie, imagine if you have a team of either 20 unfranchised owners or a couple unfranchised owners with 20 customers.
Yeah.
Bill's $100 per month going on. Suddenly you've got, with 20, you've got 120 IBV coming in monthly. You're setting yourself up for master UFO and convert your spending into earning just with what you're doing through this business. And Vince, I'm really glad you've brought this to us. I'm glad we got to take some time tonight, let people get to know you and let them get to know your company so that we can go out and make it even greater.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me and allowing me to be a chatterbox, which I know sometimes I do get, but I look forward to meeting everyone, seeing everyone in person, and met you guys before, but getting together again in this upcoming event here. And just look out for Xoom Energy. Again, we're going to have a lot of exciting news that we'll be sharing with everyone come August. So
thank you, Vince. Thank you. And if we didn't get to a question or you think of something after, feel free to email me. My email address is really easy. It's just Eddie, EDDIE @shop. So shoot me an email. I'll be happy to, if I don't know the answer, I'll get it to you. Love to hear from all you guys and meet all you guys at convention. So thanks again. Have a wonderful night, and I appreciate your time.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, Vince.
Thank you. Bye-bye.